Hello everyone. Hi there. We all want to propagate or enhance the green cover for better environment. How do we do that? We need to plant and create more trees. How do we do that? There are essentially two ways. One very common one is you collect seeds. Seeds are formed because of the sexual propagation method, where the seeds are formed, we collect them, we disperse them, and take care of growing them at different places. It creates new trees. The other way is actually asexual propagation. There are various techniques that we could use for asexual propagation. One of the very important one is grafting. Let's talk about grafting. What's grafting? Grafting is a very simple technique. It combines two plants and creates a new one. It takes the bottom part of a plant, of a healthy plant, we call it the rootstock. And then it takes the upper part, you typically get a small healthy shoot, and that's called a scion. And the scion is typically from the rare species which we want to propagate. So we get that, combine it with the rootstock or the base plant, and that gives rise to a new plant from the scion, which is actually the rare plant. This way, we have generated one more new plant, new rare plant variety on top of this rootstock. What are the uses? Why do we do this? You can multiply the rare species easily. You can conserve the rare plant species. And of course, the rare species develop additional hardiness, additional resistance for diseases. Typically, grafting is used in all fruit yielding trees like mango, jackfruit, etc. We will proceed to see how to do that. Come, let's go. Hi, welcome to this grafting technique. Here is a mango plant in my garden which I grew, and I know that this is not a high yielding variety, and the mangoes grown on this doesn't taste very good. So what I want to do is I want to select a mango plant which has tasty fruits and yields high, and I'll try to graft that onto this so that I will have a high yielding tree. Now let me pick that. The yield is very good and the fruits are very tasty. So what do? We use this as the base plant, which is called the rootstock, and we will use this as the scion. We will select a good healthy stock from here, shoot from here, and then we'll call that the scion. So I'm going to cut a small piece, a good healthy piece, small piece from here. You can take about 6 to 8 centimeters. Make sure there are at least a couple of nodes in there. You see, these are the nodes. Okay. Then I'm going to cut this off from here. So this is going to be my scion. What we are going to do is called one of the grafting techniques, which is called V-grafting. What do you need to do for V-grafting? So you have a rootstock and a scion that you have chosen. Apart from this, you need some tools. So first of all, you saw me use this. This is a cutter. You need a good knife. Okay. And then you need a polythene sheet like this, maybe a 1.5 inch or 2 inch wide, and about 15 to 20 inches long. And then you need a good thread like this. Okay. Once you have all that, you can start. Now what we are going to do, we are going to choose this particular branch, and I'm going to put this on top of that. Make sure the nodes are upward. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a V on this and a dovetail here so that this fits in there, and then I'll tie it around and make it into a new plant. So obviously we will need to chop this off once we do that. So here is what it is. Let's start by creating a V on this. So once I do the V off, you need a few nodes to be sure that it will start growing from there. Choose a good inch, okay, and start cutting the V. Right? Okay. Hold the bottom part tight so that it doesn't shake much. Make sure you handle it carefully so that it doesn't hurt your finger. This is my rootstock. I'm going to put this V into this slit. Gently, but hard enough. We would take the poly sheet. It needs to be airtight after you have done it. So that's why we use this poly sheet. You can't use a piece of cloth. To make sure that this is pretty securely tied, it needs to be airtight. So make sure you tie it well. The V is, that is, the scion and the rootstock are touching each other. I need to make sure that contact is very good. So I'm going to fasten it pretty tight there. Beautiful. Okay, you have a perfect V-grafting here. In the 30 days, it will grow shoots from these nodes. And then once you're sure, you can kind of remove this bandage and it will just look like a normal tree. In this part, it will continue to yield the same fruits, low yielding, less taste. Here, what grows will be the mangoes you probably want, you would enjoy. Okay. Typically, this is used on fruit trees like mango, guava, chiku, etc. Thank you very much. Here I have a hibiscus red variety in my garden, and this grows red flowers, mandara flowers as we call it. And I have brought a small branch from another hibiscus plant which grows white flowers, white hibiscus. I want to grow white on this. I want to have more of this white variety. What do I do? I used a cutter to get this branch, and then what you need is again a knife, okay, and a thread and a poly sheet to tie it later. We'll see how to do that. Process is very simple. I identify a bud or a node or a chip and take it out of this and implant it onto a place where there is a node on this particular plant, and then let it fuse with that. Once it fuses, you will see that the branches or whatever is growing out of that will start yielding white variety. So let's do that. I'm going to take a node. Let's say I'm going to use this about half an inch above and half an inch below. Take a slightly deep cut. I'm going to select, let us say, this spot, right? Here we have a node. I'm going to select this spot and again an inch, half an inch above, half an inch below. Make a small cut. Here, I have made that small, preparation of the base, and I have removed this skin and slightly deep. Here is the node, and I'm going to put our chip onto this. Here is the chip or the bud that we got from the other plant, and I'm going to implant it on this. Now I'm going to take the poly. Can be smaller too, but let me use this, no problem. The white one will take all the food supplements, nutrients from the parent plant, the red one. piece of thread, tighten up. You need to leave this for about 30-35 days and then take this thread off, the poly cover off. You would see that your bud has completely fused into the parent plant, and very soon it will start shooting off new branches and give you lovely white flower. Thank you. Hi. What we will now do, we will look at how to propagate asexually a tree. I've chosen a jackfruit, okay, and this is called air layering. What we are going to do is very simple. Create another tree from this parent tree, which will have identical qualities, same taste, same yield, same color, everything. It's very simple technique. What you got to do is choose a good branch, healthy branch, select a node, and either sides of the node, maybe 1 inch each side, cut out a ring of the bark, cut it out, take the bark out and expose the wood beneath. And then what we will do is we will put good soil around that, soil which is slightly wet and it has manure, natural manure preferably, and then we will pack it up. 30 to 50 days depending on the tree variety, this place will start shooting out new roots, and you can cut it from the base, go plant it anywhere you want, you have a new tree. It's as simple as that. What do you need for this? You need a knife. Please handle it carefully. A poly sheet like this. This one slightly bigger because we are going to cover the entire 2-inch length. Threads like this. Shall we start? All right. Please make sure you cut only the bark. This is the kind of soil you got to take. Got to be a bit wet but loose. Where if you kind of compress it, it should hold on. This contains normal soil and some cow dung kind of a manure. I'm going to put this around and just hold it tight. Compress it. Polypack. It needs to be airtight. If you want, you can use two such sheets. Okay, now we have this, and some cases people also tie the thread around the soil. Not necessary, as long as you have given enough poly pack to make it airtight. And after 50 days, you can just chop it off very close to this. You will see that it has shot out a lot of roots, and you can go plant it anywhere else. Where you plant it, you will take off the poly pack, poly cover, and then plant it into the soil and take care of it like a new tree. The advantage is this grows pretty quickly. In 50 days, you have this taller tree. And this is used in most fruiting trees. Pomegranate is a very popular, air layering is used very popularly on pomegranate plants. And it can also be used on flowering trees and plants. So very popular method. Thank you. Hi. Now we will do one very important technique of propagating trees. This is seedballing. Here we use the seeds, the sexual reproduction of trees, which results in the form of a seed, and those seeds we will collect over a period of time and then use it for propagation. But generally, if you throw the seeds around, the chances of them growing are very less unless the soil is right and the conditions are right. What we do is we create a condition and a protection that will nurture it and make sure that there is a higher chance of its growth. And we have extracted one of the seed from the Pungemia. I'm going to use a few ingredients. This is clay. Clay is used to hold the moisture well within the seed ball. This is the soil which serves the base for the growth of the seed, and then we will use a little bit of cow dung and cow urine. Those are all natural manure. Cow dung and cow urine will act as microbial inoculation. And let's start. So a little bit of soil. You see this very nice red soil. You mix a little bit of clay in this. Mix it up well. I'm going to add a bit of a cow urine here. I'm going to take a little bit of cow dung and mix it up thoroughly. A little bit of water. The consistency is what will make it a good seed ball. This much of quantity, maybe slightly less. Make it into a nice little ball. Now take the seed, make sure you insert it inside, that it is right at the center, and it needs to be covered on all sides. The seed needs to be covered on all sides by. Okay, so once you have spread that around, and in one monsoon it will catch up, and then in a couple of seasons it will grow well. The advantage of seed balling over just throwing around the seeds is the trees that grow out of the seed ball adapt much better, adapt much more healthy to the environment that it has been planted in. And this is very useful where we have a lot of seed yielding trees and we can propagate them to any area. Ideally, you would want to take this seed ball, dig up a bit, maybe about an inch or two of the ground, put it there and cover it, but you don't need to do that. You can just throw it around. It depends on the numbers. If you have hundreds, you can probably dig it up. If you have thousands, probably you want to throw them around. Thank you.
Right.